fans flock to Busch Stadium for interleague play. It's the Cardinals and the Tigers, the 68 series, 30 years later. Fox Sports Midwest presents Cardinals Baseball, brought to you by Budweiser. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Southwestern Bell, go wireless with someone you know. By Pizza Hut and the Edge Pizza, great taste to the edge. By your local Dodge dealer, exclusive automotive dealer of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. And by Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Fly Southwest, the official airline of the Cardinals. Welcome back to Busch Stadium. A stirring rendition of our national anthem. Is that on a piccolo?
Of course.
I wasn't sure.
Of course.
All I know is that...
We haven't even got to our Hoover pickup for the day.
No, we haven't. Let's take a look at our Dodge Key matchup. A stirring rendition of the national anthem on the piccolo. And here are our stirring looks at our Dodge Key matchups, and they are interleague play the next 3 series and then back into the division.
But you can see, other than the Cleveland Indians, your playing clubs are in the 2nd division. So this is the time really to make some progress, to get well over the 500 mark, and hopefully pick up some games on the Houston Astros.
You know, Al, you were talking earlier about, and you just mentioned it briefly, but I think it was so important talking about hitting behind Mark McGwire. Brian Jordan is so hot right now, making McGwire pay. The first month of the season, it was Ray Langford, and then the guy hitting in front, Delano DeShields, has been so important. Those two guys sandwiched around Mark McGwire have been real keys for the Cardinals offense.
Well, those guys are so big that you can't even see McGwire sitting between them. But no, there he is.
There's our lineup.
But you know, the fact is that we've said all along, McGwire is one thing, but if no one is sitting in front of him and no one is sitting behind him, you know, you're not going to get the job done. Brian Jordan hitting behind McGwire, now leading the league in hitting with 350, just doing a wonderful job, and the timely hitting. You know, Tony La Russa keep on talking about the clutch hitting that Brian is providing, and Delano just had an 18-game hitting streak retired, but he is, you could throw out the streak because he's been so consistent throughout the entire season.
And the hitting 350 and with power, and especially lately with power, that is so huge.
Well, it really is, and it really picks up everybody because you know they're going to pitch around, and then it gets to a certain point. Tony will tell you, ball clubs will not pitch around McGwire if they see a Brian Jordan and other people hitting so well behind him. And then you start getting that murderer's row.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, he was talking to Dave Parker there and talking about an approach. And while DeShields was pretty good at it the last couple of years, he has become the best at the business, getting deep in the count. And now Cardinals up and down the lineup are doing the very same thing, making the opposition work. The more you make them work, they're bound to make a mistake.
Well, it's just common sense that, you know, a pitcher is going to usually make a mistake or give you something to hit in the count. If you swing at the first pitch, well, what's the percentage that that's going to be the one pitch? If you've seen 5, 6, 7 pitches, then you're going to see that you're getting a greater opportunity. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to do something with that mistake, but it gives yourself an opportunity to at least have an opportunity to hit a ball hard instead of getting yourself out.
Before we get to our first pitch, interleague play. The Detroit Tigers are back in. We'll see the American League teams for, well, several days now. What do you think? Do you like it?
Well, I think when you have the great tradition that the Cardinals have, every time we play a team in interleague play, we played them in a World Series at some point in time. But, you know, with all these 2-game series, this is what the players do not like. You know, they're creatures of habit. They've always felt they could go into a city and know that they could unpack for 3 or 4 days. Now when they're doing it for a day or two, they do not like it, and they won't approve it under the current experimental situation.
Well, on Fox Sports Midwest tonight, you don't have to pack anything. Kick off your shoes, sit back. We've got interleague baseball for you. Joe Buck joins Al Roboski with the first pitch next.
Holding right now, as you know, as Al and Bob have detailed for you for half an hour, Al. Half an hour, pal. You've been out there talking. You're all worn out. Now I get you. Now you're going to sit there for the next 2.5 hours while the Cardinals play the Tigers.
Hey, we'd be happy if it was only 2.5 hours, wouldn't we?
That would be an atypical American League game. This, of course, interleague action. The Cardinals 1-2 in interleague games, taking on Buddy Bell's crew. Buddy Bell is probably the perfect guy for this situation in Detroit as they try to upgrade their talent base, as they try to get things pointed in the right direction for the opening of their new ballpark. And they will have a new ballpark in Detroit. And he's got some talent. This is not a team void of talent. But as we've seen already with the Cardinals this year, if you can't pitch, you're not going to win consistently. The Detroit Tigers will throw some offense at you, but their pitching needs improving. They've got some good young pitchers, but they need some experience. And now, if you can't run somebody out there with a chance to win day in and day out, you're not going to put together a streak where if you're under 500, you can get back to 500, or if you're at 500, you can start making a run at a division title.
I don't know if this is any kind of developing story, but Dave Duncan talking to both trainers, as we seem to have an extended delay right now. I hope this does not an indication of something that happened to Stottlemyre in the bullpen. And I didn't mean to stray your train of thought.
We're talking about, because it's now 7:11 on the clock.
Yeah, there's Todd right there. And I told you when we were doing the show, I looked up, it was 10 minutes to 7, and Todd was throwing. Usually a pitcher wants about 15 minutes, but with the start times normally at 7:10 now. I thought that on a very warm day, I thought that was a little unusual to spend that 20 minutes. But here he is.
Todd Stottlemyre will head to the office and go back to work to take on the Detroit Tigers. Todd Stottlemyre coming off a remarkable effort in Houston against the Astros. That was the game the Cardinals led 5-2, and you know the rest. So we will put that in the past and work on the future, the immediate future. And we look at the starting lineup for the Detroit Tigers, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They lead it off with a good leadoff man. We've seen it with Houston. Brian Hunter in center field, with Damian Easley batting second at second. Bobby Higginson, he's a good one in right field, with Tony Clark. 8 home runs in June. He's picked it up, got off to a terrible start. Luis Gonzalez, another former Astro, in left field, with Gabe Alvarez, recently called up from AAA at third. Paul Bako is the catcher. Davy Cruz, a young shortstop who can really play. And Bryce Flory, we've seen him in the National League before, making the start here tonight. That lineup will take on Cardinal ace with a capital A, a capital C, and a capital E, Todd Stottlemyre.
Well, Todd just going to go out there and making a 17th start. How many wins should he have? He could be in double figures right now with some more workmanship out of the bullpen. Amongst the league leaders with his 117, amongst the league leaders with his strikeouts, amongst the league leaders with his opposing batting average. But he just goes and gives it all he's got every 5th day.
Well, on a night-to-night basis, we will check this defense and look at the outfield with Ron Gant on the disabled list. Tonight it's McGee in left, Langford in center, Jordan in right, with Mabry, Clayton, DeShields, and McGuire on the infield. Pagnazzi is doing the catching, and he will crouch in front of Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire. Paul Nauert at first, Jerry Meals is at second base, and Terry Tata is the umpire over at third. This is just a quick 2-game series, and you wonder if there is something going on. It doesn't necessarily have to do with Stottlemyre, but Barry Weinberg, the Cardinal trainer, Brad Henderson, his assistant, have been awful active down there in the dugout already. First talking to Duncan, now to La Russa. And as Stottlemyre heads to work, we'll keep an eye on him as he takes on Hunter, Easley, and Higginson in the first. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Brian Hunter, you like to keep him off base. He's stolen 20 and caught only 4 times. And he is a true leadoff hitter, hitting .281 and taking ball 1. Well, Stottlemyre looks a little off already, and I want to bring this up, and I feel bad that I didn't say anything about this the other day, but I saw Stottlemyre kind of limping around the clubhouse yesterday. Now, that doesn't mean anything, but on that pitch, it looked like Stottlemyre looked a little uncomfortable. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it, and what I said means absolutely nothing, but keep it in the back of your mind as you watch him work. There's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Dug out that landing area, and he nailed it with his takeoff and jump. But the legs are so important to a starter or a pitcher in general.
A couple of pretty good fastballs poured in there, 1 and 2.
Here's a great gamer and competitor. And what I said earlier in our pregame show, I said, I had the opportunity to learn from Bob Gibson. The young Cardinal pitchers today have a great opportunity to learn from Todd Stottlemyre.
Where was that pitch? Pagnozzi was ready to fire it around the horn, and Jerry Davis had other thoughts. Rarely do you see Pagnozzi react that way, but he popped up. He was ready to fire it down to third. Now the 2-2 pitch. Got him again. Pagnozzi, the little looper, down to first, and a strikeout is a good start for Todd Stottlemyre. It's nice, Al, when you can win 4 in a row and have Stottlemyre going for game number 5.
That's right, and now Stott is letting the umpire see that ball. He said, hey, there's a lot of drop on that. Little stiff-legged a little bit. And there's that little hop indicating maybe a little bit of a lower leg problem. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but you're going to have to carry him off the field.
Started and stopped, 1 out, nobody on for Easley. But just thinking today, Todd Stottlemyre is the one guy that the Cardinals have been able to count on every 5th day. Merker getting hit by a batted ball, so it's kind of in a different category, but he's missed a start this past trip through the rotation. Stottlemyre's been the guy to run out there every 5 days, and he has certainly taken the role of being the ace of this staff with the departure of Andy Bennis, the injuries to Morris and Alan Bennis and Donovan Osborne. He has taken it and run with it. 2 balls and a strike on Easley.
Well, you can't say enough about him because he's a guy that, for some of these American League people that have not seen him for a couple of years, they'll probably be amazed at the complete package. He's very deliberate today, and that's really trying to concentrate on throwing the ball, but yet you're also kind of guarding against some little.
That ball's crushed. McGee back to get it on the track. Nice catch. 2 gone.
Damon Easley is an outstanding player on both sides of the ledger, offensively and defensively, and he's in a little bit of a slump. He's 0 for 5 right now. The ball almost took off on Willie, but isn't Willie fun to watch him stretch out and make a play, and just so athletic in his ability.
Now Bobby Higginson, who is 8th in the American League, hitting .326. He's pounded 14 home runs. Takes the ball low.
This guy's got to be fun to watch play. They say he really a go down and get dirty type guy, but he also is a complete package.
Didn't mean to. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul, strike 2. A couple of good swings in this inning. One by Easley, that by Higginson, and the count 1-2. Would it be safe to say, though, Al, Todd Stottlemyre is feeling some discomfort?
To me, because he's so deliberate. He seems like he's very.
There's a good breaking ball. How'd that stay fair? Right at McGuire in a 1-2-3 first inning for Stottlemyre as he heads to the dugout. We head to the bottom of the first. Stottlemyre 1-2-3 first, no score. Tony La Russa made out the lineup card, and why don't we give you a look at it on our Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Cardinals. Tony put down Royce Clayton batting in that leadoff spot. He is followed by Delano DeShields, who had an 18-game hitting streak snapped here yesterday. Mark McGuire, he's hit 18 home runs at Busch Stadium. He has hit 33 home runs overall this season. Brian Jordan homered here yesterday. He's pushing the 400 mark here at home. He's leading the league in hitting. Langford in center, McGee in left, Pagnozzi catching, Mabry at third, Stottlemyre pitching and batting ninth. On the mound for Detroit, a right-hander. We've seen him before in this league, Bryce Flory.
Signed with San Diego. Last year he's with Milwaukee. He made 24 relief outings for the Tigers. He was 3-0, ERA just over 450. Now he's making his 5th start, and he has split those 4 decisions since joining the rotation on June 1st.
And Clayton is hit by the first pitch of the night on one that rides up and in, and after having 2 guys drilled here yesterday, Cardinals have to be thinking what's going on here.
Well, we mentioned Bryce is coming in the rotation, and look at the ball just running, taking off. He spun out of the way. He was knocked down and beamed Royce Clayton when he was with the Giants, so it's still kind of a flashback, and you're always concerned with that ball going up and in. But he did spin successfully out of the way, and it looked like got him up on the upper arm. Now making pay.
Here's Delino. McGuire to follow. DeShields got that average, kept it up well above 300. He's at 329, hitless here yesterday. But he was the man at the plate when the wild pitch was unleashed by Clint Sadowski to plate the winning run. And then Jeff Brantley, nice to see a 1-2-3 ninth inning. He was helped out on a great leaping catch by that guy, Royce Clayton, for the first out in the ninth inning here yesterday.
And I imagine having that line drive snared probably just relaxed Brantley and said, okay, it's going to be okay today.
0-1 on Delino. Clayton with a big lead over at first, held on by Tony Clark. And that's strike 2. There's the Tigers defense. We told you about Clark at first, easily at second. Davy Cruz, a young shortstop. Gabe Alvarez making his major league debut with Gonzalez, Hunter, and Higginson in the outfield. Paul Bako is catching. Bryce Flory. DeShields set up at 0-2. 1 on, nobody out, and that missed.
Talking about that Tiger defense, you know, they were really struggling. A lot of that had to do when Cruz missed the first month of the season defensively. He's supposed to be phenomenal, but when you have a pitching staff that's a little bit young and not quite up to par, and then bad defense, it's not a good combination.
Clayton has stolen 16. He's been caught 6 times, and Flory pays attention to him. Talked to Royce about that catch yesterday. I said, nice catch. He said, well, I figure that's why I'm out there. He's running, and DeShields a little tapper back to Flory. Out at first, down to second, Clayton with 1 away. DeShields a little swinging bunt basically, and the put out 1-3. Here comes McGuire.
First baseman Mark McGuire.
I'm a little disappointed with Big Mac up here. Gabe Alvarez making his first game in the major leagues. I'm disappointed he's not playing in for a bunt.
You were the one telling me that it was in the scouting report of the Colorado Rockies to watch for the bunt.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you? You know, I mean, this got to be a little scary. He's an offensive player. He had 14 errors at AAA.
Flory missing with ball 1, and while we've talked all season and since the second Mark McGuire came to the Cardinals, you need somebody hot hitting behind him. It was Langford to start the season. Now it's .350 hitting Brian Jordan, the league leader. 1 ball, 1 strike.
They do not have to pitch to Mac, but that second pitch he did go after him.
The numbers for McGuire with a man on. He has a man in scoring position. Strike 2. McGuire constantly stretching out that back, especially after swinging and missing like he just did. Now he has to protect. 2-2.
Flory throws, you know, a lot of sinking fastballs and sliders. He has allowed 5 home runs and not quite 60 innings pitched.
2 out, and a big strikeout for Bryce Flory as he made terrific pitches to McGuire. And now it'll take a hit from Jordan if the Cardinals are going to get a run here in the first.
They went right after him, and he does have the weapons with that sinking fastball, and there's a little slider. Mac a low ball hitter, but you like it up a little bit.
So Jordan looks for the 2-out RBI hit. Brian has driven in 49 to the shortstop Cruz. Easy hop. And after hitting Clayton to start the first inning, Flory gets to Shields, McGuire, and Jordan. Stottlemyre back to work after 1, no score. Guests appearing in Cardinal baseball receive a gift certificate to Krieger's Pub and Grill, St. Louis's neighborhood bar and grill. Visit any one of their 5 locations, and opening in July, a 6th location in historic St. Charles. Here's Tony Clark. Tony the Tiger. Tap foul for strike one. Stottlemyre, a perfect first inning.
You know what I thought was good, Joe, was that last out. Remember, it was to Mark McGwire unassisted, but Stottlemyre ran over to first as if he had no problem. So maybe he's loosened up a little bit.
Todd wants to do baseball. It'll be Clark, Gonzalez, and Alvarez. Gabe Alvarez, who is hitting so well down at AAA, will step to the big leagues here this evening.
How good's this kid?
Tony Clark?
Yeah.
What a great athlete. And still really learning the game of baseball.
He gave up basketball to devote full time to baseball. And he's got some raw power.
Behind on the count is Stottlemyre, 2-1, and now 3-1. And when you fall behind Clark 3-1, this guy can hurt you. He's had some big years power-wise. Last year hitting 32 home runs with Detroit. Full count.
27 the year before that. You know, when they lost Cecil Fielder, you know, they kind of worried about it. But in 100 games in '96, he hit 27 home runs and 72 RBIs.
That'll make you forget Cecil. Stottlemyre comes back to strike out Clark, and that's strikeout number 2 for Todd, who came in with 105 strikeouts on the year, make it 107. He's third in the league.
Good breaking ball there. And Todd keeps on improving and just really coming up with a third pitch. Left-handers used to give him trouble. Now he really has pitches to combat it.
Here's Luis Gonzalez hitting 300. Nice to see a nice guy succeeding. And that's the case with Gonzalez as he takes a strike from Stottlemyre. This is one of the nicest guys in the big leagues. You could say that for Brian Hunter as well. A good atmosphere around the Tigers, despite the fact they are 17 games under 500, 13.5 games behind division leading Cleveland in the AL Central, and struggling for yet another year as they try to build a foundation to grow from in Detroit. Strike 2 from Stottlemyre.
Well, usually when a pitcher gets 2 strikes on a hitter, you feel pretty good. But Gonzalez leads the American League in batting average with 2 strikes in the count. He's a .303 hitter.
1-2, and right up the middle. Clayton to his left. Great play, 2 out. Al, ever since Royce Clayton has changed his attitude, the little things hustling all over the place, he's been making one play after another like this.
Well, it carries over, and I think it prepares you. And he almost messed up there where he was a little bit too casual with the throw, because he realized that this ball was destined to center field, sure base hit. So once he got to it, scrambled to his feet, he had plenty of time to throw out Gonzalez, and he didn't want to rush the throw and throw it away.
Gabe Alvarez now steps to the batter's box for the first time. The numbers for Alvarez, AAA, 20 home runs. Major league debut for this young man. 1 ball, 1 strike as he faces Todd Stottlemyre.
20 home runs were first place in AAA, and his RBI total was tied for second.
Laid off that low delivery, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. 3-1 as Alvarez jumps up on the count. You can hear Stottlemyre yell at himself all the way up here.
Alvarez was acquired from Arizona along with Matt Drews and Joe Randa in exchange for Travis Fryman.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to Gabe. Up the middle, and congratulations to Gabe Alvarez. He has a base hit in his first major league at bat, and that was sharply hit up the middle.
Sounded like a well-struck ball. He's from Navajo, Mexico. He attended the University of Southern California. A breaking ball right out over the plate. And he just hit it back up the middle very, very crisply.
So with 1 on 2 out, here is Paul Bako, the catcher, with a home run, 11 RBIs, and an average of 267. What'd they do? Try to throw that ball over to the dugout and ended up in the seats? They got it back. So congratulations to Gabe Alvarez. And he's the first base runner of the night for Detroit. Little low to Bako. They have Paul Bako. They have Joe Oliver. Long-time National League catcher. Chased it there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Casanova. Is it Raul Casanova is on the disabled list? That's how Bako got up here.
Trade yesterday in the major leagues with Jim Leyritz going from Boston to San Diego. 3 players going back the other way. 2 went to San Diego. Strike 2 on Bako as Stottlemyre tries to get around a 2-out single by Alvarez. Todd looking for strikeout number 3. It's another muggy night here at the ballpark. It was just flat out hot here yesterday. And the Cardinals battled back in that heat in the late innings to overcome a 4-1 deficit and sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks with a 5-4 victory. Only 1 bad inning pitching wise for the Cardinals. Brady Raggio got his 2nd major league win yesterday, and he set up Jeff Brantley, who had a 1-2-3 9th inning. A ball and 2 strikes on Bako. That should be easy. Clayton has time, gets his man, inning over. A 2-out hit by Alvarez. We'll see. Langford, McGee, and Pagnozzi for the Cardinals in the 2nd. Bottom half, no score. Southwestern Bell trivia question: who holds a major league record for most home runs hit at home during a season? The answer, we understand, has something to do with Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Hank Greenberg. We never give anybody any time to answer these things or to think about it.
Oh, our audience is so smart, they already all knew.
Hank Greenberg hit 39 in 1938. You talk about well, we always talk about the Cardinals and their history and their tradition. Well, the Detroit Tigers have some of the best players ever to play this game in their history.
They got a couple Hall of Famers with them in their broadcast booth.
Kaline and Harwell.
And Ernie Harwell. George Kell, who's down in Arkansas listening to this game. He's watching this game. George Kell, what a nice man he is. And you just waved to George. Joe Buck just waved.
I did. He's a good friend of my father.
Yeah, I mean, he's been very nice to me. Several occasions. There you see Ernie Harwell, and how about a high schooler come right to the big leagues, and in his 2nd season in the big leagues, he won a batting title. He was the youngest player to win a batting title. Al Kaline on your left. He was 20 years of age.
2 balls and a strike on Ray Langford, hitting .274. He leads it off here in the 2nd with McGee and Pagnozzi to follow. No score. That's crushed into right. At the track, at the wall, 1-0. Cardinals on number 10 for Ray Langford.
So we haven't seen Ray Langford pull the trigger like that. 10th home run of the season, is 36 RBI, 97th home run of the year for the Redbirds. He was kind of uppercutting, kind of swinging down and then uppercutting on balls, but that was a charge.
Now McGee takes a ball from Flory. Willie is hitting .304. Boy, did this sound crisp and pure off the bat, and That sound didn't lie. It went off the back of the bullpen.
Right off the Ameritech side.
2-0 now on McGee. See how Flory does after that shaker hit by Ray Langford.
I was talking to K-Line and Larry Parrish, Buddy Bell's bench coach, about this Busch Stadium because K-Line remembers it from '68.
Looks a little different.
Yeah, Parrish remembers it, but they were saying, hey, this is a hitter's ballpark now. They've made this a little cozy. It's you can hit some bombs in here now.
3-0. That caught the corner. Yeah, when you look at the highlights, think back to the way Busch Stadium used to be, and that was at a time where there was grass. You see some of those shots in center as McGee checks on Cruz to his left. 1 away. First out here in the second inning. Take another look at the swing by Ray Langford to produce the first run of tonight's game. You see that ball where Flood slipped in the outfield. What was the game-winning hit? You see how much room there was back in center field behind a great center fielder in Curt Flood.
And Joe, he did not play shallow either. He played kind of deep. He wasn't like Paul Blair or somebody that played real shallow. So that kind of, you took 12 feet away from center.
Alvarez plays a hop. Good play. Throws high, but out. Clark saved the error, then came down, missed the bag initially, but stepped on it. That was not an easy play for Alvarez. And as you said, he's not great over at third base, but he stayed with it.
Yeah, look at it. At least he was squared up, and so when it hit him off the chest, bounced in front, he grabbed it. There's the high throw, and yes, he did come down on the bag. When you have to make Tony Clark jump up, you know that ball's up there high.
2 out, nobody on, and Mabry takes the ball. John is hitting in the 8th spot tonight. The home run hit by Ray Langford, a 421-foot shot. And the Cardinals lead 1-0 here in the second. Minnesota has an early 1-0 lead at Houston after a couple. Behind Eric Milton. Two and one.
So Bryce Flory beat his last time out. He beat Eric Milton and the Minnesota Twins. They go there this weekend, right?
That's foul 2-2. The Cardinals will head to Minnesota this weekend after a couple of games in Cleveland. There are the numbers for Bryce against Eric Milton.
Milton was the principal in the Chuck Knobloch trade.
2-2 to Mabry. Have to do it again. Well, you see the Yankees pull off those trades. I was looking at some of their transactions when they made a late deal a couple of years ago to get David Cone back from Toronto. They gave up 3 guys you never heard of. They made the trade for Knobloch. Milton, they hope, will be a good one. But it's safe to say that what looked like would be a seller's market for the Minnesota Twins and Chuck Knobloch really didn't turn into much. Twins didn't get a whole lot. The Yankees, with Knobloch at the top of their order, have won 50 games already this season. An 8-game lead over the Red Sox in the AL East, and Boston playing good baseball, but they're 8 out. Mabry strikes out. The put out down at first. Bako throws to Clark, and that's strikeout number 2 for Flory. But a 421-foot shot off the bat of Ray Langford. But the Cardinals out in front, 1-0 after 2. Here's the culprit. Ray Langford with one swing gives the Cardinals a lead here tonight. Bringing you this game on Fox Sports Midwest, part of the Fox Sports Net. At least that's what they tell me, Al. Is that right?
Oh, that's right. Watch at 10, you'll find out.
Fox Sports News primetime?
Oh.
It's a show second to none.
Second to none.
Joe Buck and Al Roboski with you. Now say something brilliant so they know that it's you that said it. Here's Davy Cruz taking ball 1 from Stottlemyre. That was good, Al. Nice job.
Thank you.
Really came through with your name on the screen.
Well, I figured it was probably the best way for me to say something brilliant was not to say anything.
That's not true. 1-0 pitch. Into right center. Jordan over to get it. 1 up, 1 down. And the pitcher, Bryce Flory, who is 0 for 1 so far this season, will walk to the plate. It's Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Midwest. It's the Battle of L.A. Jim Edmonds leads the Angels as they hook up with Gary Sheffield, Bobby Bo, and their rival, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Angels and the Dodgers Baseball Thursday, 9 p.m. on Fox Sports Midwest. And if you're tuning in that game to see shots of Fred Claire or manager Bill Russell, don't bother because they won't be there.
Or Bobby Bo.
Bobby Bo's on the disabled list. 1 ball, 1 strike. Things are changing out in L.A. on a daily basis, and Russell's been fired today, as has general manager Fred Claire.
Well, but you and I both talked to, at separate times, talked with Todd Worrell today. And he said, you know, sometimes change is good.
I saw Todd by the batting cage. He brought his kids out to watch Mark McGwire take batting practice. 2 balls and a strike up the middle. Flory has the second hit of the night for the Tigers. I said, Todd, you don't feel like walking 372 feet into right center field, go over the wall and just hang out in that bullpen for a few nights, do you? No, I'm finished.
I told him, and I said, go get Hinkie. But, you know, our bullpen's starting to come around.
Bullpen has done a terrific job. Great to see Jeff Brantley step up and get the save yesterday, and there's nobody working harder than Jeff Brantley trying to get things back on track. And Rick Crawshaw's been very good the last couple of chances he's had. And you have to look at the bullpen and realize they're working without Bottenfield, without the starter yesterday, Acevedo. They're working without Petkaizik because those guys are in the starting rotation. Ball 1 to Hunter.
Yeah, that's the point we have to stress is there's some really talented young arms down there, Joe. It's just right now our rotation is our frontline bullpen guys, excluding Stottlemyre.
2-0 now on Hunter, who struck out his first time up on a ball in the dirt.
Matt Morris took his big first step on his road to recovery. He threw 30 pitches yesterday. He'll probably make 2 more starts down there, and he'll find himself pitching right where Stottlemyre is very shortly.
2-0 pitch, 3-0. You wouldn't want that hit by the pitcher Flory to turn into something big for Detroit, but it could if Stottlemyre can't bear down and get Hunter. He's behind on the count, 3-0. With a tough one and easily on deck. There's a strike, 3-1. Full count. Bryant's hit 3 home runs, but as we used to talk about when he was with Houston, get him swinging like that, get him thinking about the home run, and more times than not, he's going to do you a favor. Flory might go. 3 balls, 2 strikes, not running. See you later. 2 out. Struck him out looking. And that's strikeout number 3 for Stottlemyre, and a big one to come back from 3-0. Here's our Casino Queen leaderboard, Al, and we look at home earned run average. We're cutting this thing up any doggone way we can to give you something good, and Stottlemyre has a home ERA of 1.8.
Joe, the last couple of years, you know, he, particularly the first year, Stottlemyre really struggled at home, and now he's kind of reversed it. He was pitching better on the road. Now he's kind of done that, but still, the 4, just over 4 is not a bad ERA at all when you have a 1.8 at home.
Seems like we've done just about every one of Stottlemyre's home starts, doesn't it?
Aren't you happy?
Yes. 1 on, 2 out. 1-0 the count on Damian Easley, who shot the ball to the track and left his first time up. Only to see that drive end up in the glove of McGee, who made a leaping grab out there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Home run number 18 by Easley could put the, or would put the Tigers on top. He hasn't had anything close to a fastball with the first 3 pitches from Stottlemyre, and it's 1 and 2.
Well, I can't really remember what the first pitch was that he hit, or the first at bat. Remember?
I'm going to guess it was a fastball.
That's what I was about to say, because he had that sharply hit line drive to left from McGee and a nice running catch on it.
Sidearm delivery, 2-2. About 4 or 5 times a game, Stottlemyre will drop down, not necessarily sidearm, but 3/4.
Change the look, and to a right-handed batter it can be very effective, because it looks like you start that release point behind his back and get him to bail out.
Now the 2-2. Got nothing straight from Stottlemyre to Damian Easley. That's strikeout number 4, and around the 1-out hit is Stottlemyre. Bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 St. Louis. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by your local Dodge dealer, exclusive automotive dealer of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. By Pizza Hut and the Edge Pizza, great taste to the edge. And by Auto Tire. Auto Tire, the home of bottom line pricing. Bottom of the 3rd inning here in St. Louis. And the Cardinals bench hoping for an eruption here in the 3rd inning. Stottlemyre's doing his usual work out on the mound. Cardinals lead 1-0 on the 421-foot home run hit by Ray Langford in the 2nd, leading off. Big crowd, and that's to say big crowd at Busch Stadium is almost becoming redundant, because we have it every game, day in, day out.
Why don't we say typical crowd?
Typical crowd at Busch Stadium. And there's just one member of that very typical crowd. He's a typical guy in a typical crowd. And I'm your typical announcer next to your typical analyst.
Broken down analyst.
Broken down old left-hander. Stottlemyre is up there and taking ball 1. Todd is 7 out of 44. What are you dying to read over there?
Oh, it's really some good news. So we'll see. Get a shot of Pag sometime. I'll read the news.
2-0. Todd would like to return the favor. You don't know how much Todd wants to return the favor. To get a hit off Flory. Flory got a hit off him in the top of this inning.
He wants to get a base hit and also throw his bat.
Taking ball 3. 3-0. Can't be too much wrong with his legs.
No.
He's up there trying to drop down bunts.
He wouldn't know if there was something hurting anyway. I mean, he's in his game mode. He's ready to play.
And now can Flory throw a strike? No. Leadoff walk, and that's a nice start with Clayton, DeShields, and McGuire coming up. First walk comes at a terrible time for Flory. Here's Clayton. First pitch of the night to the Cardinals was this. And thankfully off the forearm as opposed to the wrist or the hand. Royce was eventually stranded after DeShields, McGuire, and Jordan went 1-2-3. Inside again.
So Royce kind of buckling there. And it was a breaking ball. That's what a ball up and in will do for you. You get a little gun shy.
See what the Cardinals want to do here. 1 on, nobody out. Likely play it straight. That's to, whoa, what a great play by Alvarez. Good throw for 1. Can't turn 2. Looked like that ball was going to get past him, Al, and Alvarez, who doesn't come to the big leagues with a great reputation with a glove, has made 2 pretty good plays.
Joe, you also know a lot of those minor league fields are kind of a little bit rough, so sometimes when you see a guy with 14 errors, it's not an indication. Heads up player. He went to USC, so he played tough baseball there. Noted as an offensive player, but he makes a second fine play there. They get the lead man, and I think we're better off with Royce at first base and Stottlemyre in on the dugout.
1 on, 1 out for Delino. Bounce back to the pitcher his first time up.
And because of the dive and then throw to the second base, Stottlemyre was right on top of Damon Easley and forced that throw off line.
Clayton is running. Pitch inside. Bako's throw. Not in time. Awful close, and Clayton steals number 17 on the year.
Well, Joe, I think it's a situation that a very strong throw from Bako, but what didn't look like a tag. Here's the ball. Comes up over the top, makes that throw, and watch Clayton go in there. Throw beats him, and he is safe. Usually, if that throw's there, it's an automatic out.
Jerry Meals was right on top of it and didn't give it the old automatic.
Right.
And the Cardinals get the right call, but get a call to go their way. And now with a runner at second, one out, a hit could mean another run. Cardinals lead 1-0, and it's 2-1 on Delino with McGuire on deck. And now 3-1 on to Shields. So Flory, who walks Stottlemyre to start this inning, then got Clayton on the force out at second, or to hit into the force out at second. Roy steals second. Now it's 3-1 on to Shields, and the last thing Flory wants to do is put the Shields on with McGuire up next.
By the way, he handled McGuire the first time up. It might be the situation he's not comfortable throwing the left-handers. There's an interesting stat of what McGuire's done.
There's ball 4. 2 walks in the inning, and the worst possible scenario for Flory, he has to pitch to McGuire.
Well, the first time up, he handled McGuire easily with a strikeout, and 4 times this year, I think it's 4 times this year, McGuire has struck out in the first inning, and then in the third inning, off the same pitcher, hit a home run.
Mark's got to distance himself. I don't want to hear any more about Sammy Sosa. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear it.
That's right, he's a Cub.
And what a great start to the season for Sammy Sosa, approaching the halfway point with 30 home runs. McGuire has hit 33, driven in 82. 2 on, 1 out. Flashballs popping all over the park on ball 1.
So how do you have 82 RBIs on this date in June and still be trailing 7 in the major league leadership?
Juan Gonzalez has 89. Here's a visit from the pitching coach as Flory is working his way into heavy trouble here in the third inning. There's Sammy Sosa with 30, 3 behind Mark McGuire. Galarraga and Greg Vaughn each with 25. Vinny Castillo with 22. He's kind of sputtered lately. And the home run per at bat ratio, Mark McGuire every 6.9, Sammy every 9.4. Sosa keeps deferring, by the way, publicly to Mark McGuire, saying Mark's the man. He is a hero to Sammy Sosa. Sammy's a good guy, a guy easy to root for. 2 on, 1 out. McGuire pops it up. Back behind the plate, and Tony Clark goes to get it. 2 out. McGuire got a full swing, but popped it up. And it's up to Jordan with 2 on, 2 out.
Mack failed to homer in the Arizona series. And it's all about having protection in the order. And Brian Jordan has provided a lot of it.
Well, Brian has great speed on the bases in front of him. Clayton at second to Shields at first. 2 out. 1-0 Cardinals in the third. Jordan bounced out to short his first time. If he could shoot a gap, he'd get 2 RBIs. He's driven in 49. And now Jordan's got protection with Langford swinging the bat much better behind him.
It's really the shame because of Ronnie Gant going down to injury, because he was starting to come alive and really having some fun in that order, top to bottom.
2-0. Jordan, one of the 2 Cardinals hit by a pitch here yesterday. Two on, 2 out, 2-0 the count. Perfect pitch over the outside corner, 2-1. Flory trying to get around 2 walks, including a leadoff walk to the pitcher, which usually spells disaster. Not yet. 2-2. Good speed on for Jordan, who is hitting .348. Into left field. They will bring Clayton to the plate. Gonzalez with a throw. That'll be cut off, and it's 2-0 Cardinals in the third. Just can't get around a leadoff walk to the pitcher against a good team, and Flory did not.
Well, good teams find ways to never let that pitcher off the hook. Brian Jordan delivers. You know, Brian is way up in the home runs. He has 14 on the year, but I think still he has become so much more of a dangerous hitter because of his wrist injury and some of his problems, that he doesn't overswing with men in scoring position. Nice contact swing, puts the ball in play, and a good example of not striking out. That's why he's leading the league. That's why he's having a very productive season.
Well, Ray Langford has clubbed a home run here tonight. Leading off the second, the Cardinals have 2 runs on 2 hits. Detroit no runs on 2 hits. Crowd wants to see something else in this inning. And Flory's really had a tough time, as you mentioned, against left-handed hitters. It's 2-0 on Langford.
Just sort of seems like right now the left-handers, he's not comfortable. He's all over the place to him.
Walked Stottlemyre batting left-handed. Walked to Shields batting left-handed. He's 2-0 on Langford.
And Langford hit a home run off him the first time up.
3-0 with Willie McGee, another left-handed batter, at least in this situation, on deck.
A lot of times a guy like Price with that slider as their out pitch, you know, they just can't elevate it to a left-hander to make it successful. It's breaking down and into their danger zone.
Missed on 4 straight to Langford, and the bases are loaded for McGee. There's already action for the Tigers out in their bullpen. And the Cardinals have only 2 hits, and we're only in the third. But the signs are not good for Flory.
Left fielder, Willie McGee.
Delano to Shields, drew a walk to reach base. Brian Jordan has an RBI hit with 2 out. And then on 4 in a row, a walk to Ray Langford. He is stationed over at first base. 2 out. And the batter, McGee.
Doug Bachler is throwing in the bullpen.
He's been great for Detroit lately.
Yeah, 18+ scoreless innings for the right-hander. You know, you just look at this Detroit ball club, and you got to have a Houston media guide and a San Diego media guide, so you'll be complete.
Well, there are ties with the general manager, Randy Smith, who was in San Diego, and his father, Tal Smith, is the club president in Houston.
And apparently when Houston, who swept a 3-game interleague series last weekend, and Detroit had all 3 leads in all 3 games.
McGee to the first baseman, Clark. First pitch swinging, and Willie is gone. The Cardinals get a run. They leave 3, have stranded 4, and after 3, behind Stottlemyre, lead Detroit 2-0.
The ballpark, and don't forget, tomorrow night at Busch Stadium, it is AMC Keychain Night. First 25,000 fans age 16 and over get this lovely AMC keychain. But the most important thing is, anytime you take it to the AMC Theater, you get a free small popcorn through October. Tomorrow night, AMC Keychain Night at the ballpark. Let's go back upstairs to Joe and Al.
Thanks, Paul. We move to the 4th inning with the Cardinals leading 2-0. Just kidding.
Hit batsman,
Thank
Joe.
you, Bob, and a hit batsman. So Stottlemyre hits Higginson, and we begin the 4th inning in that fashion. A hit by pitch, and now each side has had a hit batter.
I think you'll see this one if we see a replay of it. A breaking ball. Looked like it hit him right on the toe, maybe. And a breaking ball, and then removed the foot. I'm sure he didn't think it was going to hit him, but especially the way he feels right now.
Here's Clark. And there's strike one. Tony could tie it up with one swing. One on, nobody out. Clark is hitting .286 with 15 home runs. You've been to Tiger Stadium.
Oh, yes.
I've been to Tiger Stadium. It is a unique baseball experience in a playing field and confines like no other.
Well, you probably have not had the full complement. You've got to go to A.C. Lindell's and get one of the greasiest cheeseburgers you ever on the face of the earth. I mean, they don't have the great classy steak burgers that we have here. Steak and Shake.
Just dripping with.
Oh, it's dripping. But it's part of the Detroit experience.
One on, nobody out. Clark took another strike, and it's 1-2. Tony struck out his first time. Stottlemyre tries to get around a hit batsman to start the inning as the Tigers put their leadoff man on for the first time tonight. Two and two. Gonzalez will follow, then Alvarez. Bako, the catcher, would follow Alvarez if the inning continues past the rookie third baseman.
I think Tony Clark can get us a double play ball.
He could do that or he could do the other. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To the right side, DeShields kicks it. Higginson will stop, and it's 2 on, nobody out.
Scored an error, Joe, and I think the mindset of Delino was he looked up for a split second trying to get himself in position to get the lead runner. You got to catch the ball. See how he had his foot? Going to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spin and throw this ball. We're going to get the lead guy. Higginson had no lead whatsoever. They would have had him easily. But you got to catch the ball. You have to get one first.
Now 2 on, nobody out for Gonzalez. Tying runs are on here in the 4th inning. There's the double play ball. 4, 6, 3. 2 out and a runner at third. That was nice.
Yeah, it was real nice. And, you know, Delino has been so much more steady at second base. Clayton is just, he's right on top of things with that little pep step. But right there, nice little feed, plenty of time. Royce will watch, he'll drop down. He'll say, Tony Clark, I know you're big, get down because I don't want to get hit. And if you drop that down on a guy, he's going to slide.
Now Alvarez.
Ooh, he's got a swing, doesn't he?
Strike one. Man, he is up there ready to wail.
He looked like somebody told him, hey, this is going to be a slow breaking ball. And I think Stottlemyre goes, he says, Pags, what'd you do? Tell him.
Look at this swing.
I mean, this is supposed to fool him. He's supposed to sit there and he's supposed to think dead red, and look at that adjustment.
See why this guy hit 20 home runs at AAA. Runner at third, 2 out.
Talked with Pagnozzi before the game, and he says, I only know 2 guys in this club. I know Hunter and I know Gonzalez. Who are the rest of them? And then you get a kid like Alvarez who's in his major league debut. You have no scout report on him.
Higginson at third, 2 out. And that should end the inning. Jordan coming on. Take it, BJ. Inning over. First 2 are on. An error in the inning, and Stottlemyre gets around it. 3.5 complete. 2-0 Cardinals. Well, why aren't people going to the Kiel Center? Now that I think about it. But that's the way we start the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Cardinals coming up leading by 2. Joe Buck, Al Roboski, and one of the greatest hockey players of all time graces our presence. Al?
Oh, that's not me?
No, not you.
You know, I would have been a heck of a hockey player if I only knew how to skate.
Well, you're crazy enough to be.
Yeah, well.
How you doing, Brett Hall? You
Very good.
Right?
How about you guys?
All right. Now,
well, I'd hate to be up here in a day game.
It's hot, isn't it?
I've been up for 10 minutes. I'm sweating already.
I know. It's an effort being up here, but it's fun when the Cardinals are playing.
Let's not get carried away,
okay.
Joe.
All right. Now, you play a long hockey season. How long does it take a body to take all that pounding that you take day after day to feel normal? How long does it take you?
Not too long. You know, a week, 10 days. You just get sore. It's the little bumps and bruises more than anything. But it's you know, you keep yourself in good shape, and it doesn't take too long.
Pagnazzi leads it off, takes a ball inside from Flory. It's 2-0 Cardinals. How's your golf game?
Golf game, if you didn't have to putt, I could have been out in San Francisco this year.
Into center field off the bat of Pagnazzi, and Hunter pulls it in, one away. Now that's putting out in San Francisco.
That's scary.
That is scary.
I don't know if you watched any of it.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I really felt for Payne Stewart, but you almost could feel it happening.
Al, do you want to ask him, or should I?
No, I'm going to ask him. Is Scott Boras your agent?
No.
You know who Scott Boras is?
Yes, I do. He's got all the wrong people for us, doesn't he, here in St. Louis?
Well, that's kind of a roundabout way to say how things go with you.
Exactly. Hopefully it's going to work out. You know, we're going to wait till July 1st, I guess, and if we can work things out, all the better, because this is the best place in the whole league, and I would imagine baseball as well, to play.
1 ball, 1 strike on Mabry with 1 out, nobody on. That is smoked into right field, and Higginson on a hop takes in the first hit of the night from John Mabry. Al, how many guys did you play with or run into that played in St. Louis, left for whatever reason, and couldn't wait to get back, or always looked at their days in St. Louis as the best days in their professional life?
Well, we talked to Todd Worrell today, who
I
makes
just
his
saw
home
Todd,
here,
yeah.
and so, I mean, it's just a great environment, and congratulations, the third little one running around.
Just had a little girl the other about a week ago, and everyone's fine, healthy, and wealthy, and wise, or wise anyway.
When we get a minute, I want to talk about something, because I know how devoted you've been in the community.
Do it now while Stottlemyre tries to bunt.
Well, Tom Pagnazzi has had a great little friend and everything like that, but all the Cardinals and Tom, and this comes from the three of us, would like to congratulate a young Cardinal buddy, Michael Vogel, on the great news he got today from his doctor. After 8 years of therapy for leukemia, his doctors gave Michael a clean bill of health, and he's done with the treatments. And so I know Michael's probably at home, and we all want to congratulate him, but I think we all got to pay attention, because there's so many charitable organizations around here that so much research goes to so many different causes, and we've got to tell people miracles do happen.
They really do. It's amazing the number of kids we see come through our dressing room through the seasons, and you know, you take everything for granted, and you talk about contract problems, and you hear about little stories like that, and it puts everything in perspective. And you know, stories like that you can't hear enough of, and just to get people to come out and help at golf tournaments and the charity events that people have, whether it's the Rams, the Cardinals, or the Blues, and anyone else who's doing anything throughout the city. And I've never seen a city like this that does more for people than St. Louis. And the more we can do, the more stories you're going to hear like this. And it's just great.
Yeah, a great community that has been so giving. And I mean, the corporate people you just can't say enough about. You know, every day you could be doing a lunch and a dinner, a golf tournament, and you know, you have your time that you've got to justify and allocate it out there, and you've got to stay in shape for the reason you're still in demand.
Exactly, and that's I think that's why you see the Cardinals and the Blues and the Rams are some of the most respected organizations in all sports for the work we do in the city. For you look at Kelly Chase, he won the King Clancy for being so dedicated to charities and the Gateway kids in the community, and people like that make the city great.
Clayton swinging for the fences, pops one down the right field line. That ball's out of play, and the count 0-2, trying to drive in Mabry from second.
What are you doing Monday?
Out.
You know what? I've got a free day Monday.
Well, you want to go to a golf tournament for Special Olympics? At Fox Run?
I would love to.
I'm seriously. Well, you know, I'll get you the information. Fox Run.
What a great golf course that
Anytime
is.
you throw Fox Run out there, they're going to jump it.
Yeah, it's a great time, and a lot of the Cardinal fans will be out there, and some of the players. And Joe, you're going to be out there, right?
I'm going to be out there. I haven't told Ann that yet, but I'll be there.
Is that what I saw the pallet of sod going out there for?
Here's the ground ball to the second baseman easily, and the inning is over. Brett, we hope you stay, man.
Thank you very much. So do I.
And thanks for stopping by.
It's always a pleasure.
Brett Hall, one of the best ever to lace him up. We go to the fifth inning, still 2-0 St. Louis. 4 innings here in St. Louis with the Cardinals out in front 2-0. The Tigers will have the bottom 3 in their lineup. Bako, Cruz, and Flory. A ball from Todd Stottlemyre. Bako, his first time, grounded out to short. Won't chase it. 2-0. Stottlemyre did a great job last inning after hitting Higginson. Then an error behind Stottlemyre and a ball hit by Clark. Put 2 on, nobody out, but he got Gonzalez to hit into a double play and Alvarez to pop up into shallow right. That's foul. 2-1. The most obvious thing out there for the Cardinals with regard to Stottlemyre is to sign him. And I know that they are going to try like heck to sign him. And Stottlemyre, I know, wants to stay here. And I think along those lines, after having Brett Hull here, Todd Stottlemyre, as the ball goes up the middle off the bat of Bako to start the inning. Stottlemyre, I'm not going to say he's twice the pitcher he was before he got under the guidance of Dave Duncan, but it might be close. And it's been a nice marriage here for Todd for the last few years.
I'm going to say he probably is, and you know who will say he's probably more so? Stottlemyre himself. Because Duncan has really taught him not only to control his emotions, but he's given him a third pitch. Given a pitch really to combat left-handed batters, even though one just hit one through the wickets. But he is, you know, he just is a fun guy to watch.
Davy Cruz now looks at a strike and a breaking ball. Cruz, a young man, called up from single A. Took a strike. He has a man on, nobody out. He played last year with the Tigers. Had been called up from single A. He made that jump, and defensively he holds this Detroit infield together.
Missed the first month and all of spring training with a broken ankle. Suffered in winter ball. And I talked to Kaline about him, and Kaline says, you know, I don't talk much about infielders, but this kid, you know, there's something special about him.
You pronounce that first name Davy. 1 on, nobody out, nothing in 2 the count. The pitcher on deck. Stottlemyre trying to get his man here, and he does. That gets away. First base was occupied, so the batter's out, but down to second is Bako with 1 out in the inning. So the pitcher coming up. Well, on a hot night, this ought to look good floating across your screen. Cardinal fans, this break in the action is brought to you by Brew Refresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. Runner at second, 1 out. And the batter will be Bryce Flory, the pitcher who singled his first time up. That is played by Mabry. They have the runner caught. He throws to first, out. Mabry could have gotten the runner into the rundown, but Al, it may have taken DeShields a while to get to second base, so instead of messing around with that, they get the sure out at first.
I'm not going to argue one bit, Joe. Does a nice job to reach down and snare that ball to his left. And as the runner was caught off, he did what he had to. He runs at him, freezes him. And like I said, you don't want to get in a rundown. The lineup wasn't quite there. You've got to get 1 out. He had him going back to second. You get the man at first.
Now Hunter takes a strike. And a hit could mean a run. The strikeout and the wild pitch. The rule is with less than 2 out and first base occupied, the batter is out, but the runner can advance at his own discretion. And Bako did that. With 2 out, all bets are off and you take off. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hunter. Trying to dig into the Cardinal lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. To the shortstop, you have to hurry, Royce, but Hunter didn't get out of the box. That helps. Inning over. Hunter was jammed, had trouble getting out of the box, and Stottlemyre gets around a leadoff hit. Still 2-0 Cardinals.
We're back at the ballpark. Hey, if you're a kid and your birthday's coming up and you love baseball, there's no better way to have a birthday party than right here at the ballpark with Fred Bird. That's right. Fred Bird will celebrate your birthday with you. Right, Fred? Let's go back upstairs with Joe and Al.
It's like working with Harpo Marx down there. He can't talk. We got Bob doing everything, man. This guy's working, Al.
Oh.
You put him on camera for a half hour before the game, then you're scooting him around.
Me? I'm doing
roving
it now.
reporting.
Okay.
Dear Diary, tonight it finally happened. I worked with Fredberg. Bottom of the fifth inning. We're halfway through this one. Cardinals lead 2-0. And it will be DeShields, McGuire, and Jordan. Anybody gets on Langford. Right guys up there to add to this lead. Flory. I agree with you 100%. He is not comfortable throwing to left-handed batters right now. I mean, that's not even close. That was, and DeShields fouls away strike one. Flory's got a chance, though, doesn't he? He's got good stuff.
Yeah, he's always had, and see, left-handers are hitting 296. I thought it might even be a little more lopsided than that.
To the right side for Clark. Good play by Tony, and safe. DeShields hustling all the way for a leadoff hit.
Boy, forgot who was running. And Delino, you know, you can kind of go over there if you got a slow guy a foot. But if you got someone speedy, you got to take a more direct approach. Look at him just kind of lollygagging. Now, he could have gotten a much better throw from his first baseman. First baseman could have overhanded it.
And now McGuire. Mark is 0 for 2. That's fair. Down the left field line. And off the billboard. DeShields will end up at third. McGuire will hold with a single, and it's first and third. Nobody out.
I don't know how McGuire ever gets a double.
It's just hit too hard.
He hits the ball way too hard. You know, he's not that fast to begin with, but the outfielders usually play so much deeper with him. Now, this one does, but the ball just, it jumps off his bat like a golf ball. So it gets out there, goes off the Southwest Airlines sign, kicks in. Outfielder's got to come running in. But, you know, he's chugging hard. He's halfway around first base, but he's got to pull up.
Now Jordan. If that ball doesn't hit the Southwest Airlines sign down there, it's into the corner and might score a run. Because there's no way Gonzalez was going to cut that ball off.
No.
Just hit too hard. First and third, nobody out for Jordan. And that's a foul ball. And I think they've caught up to Bryce Flory here in the fifth inning. There is action again for the Tigers out in their bullpen. Doug Bachler, he was up earlier, he's up again. Cardinals lead 2-0. First and third, nobody out. That will get a run home. 6-4, not in time. You can't be that deliberate, Davy Cruz. And on the force out, Jordan gets the RBI. It's number 51. And the Cardinals take a 3-0 fifth inning lead. If you want personal goals, hustle on a ball like that, and you get an RBI instead of a double play and no RBI.
Well, you see, making sure they get there, and easily a little bit of trouble with exchange. They just don't have they don't realize how quick Brian Jordan is. They probably took that for granted that they were going to concede the run, the third run to the Cardinals, but they thought they were going to turn two.
And now Langford with a man on, one out. Whoa.
And Joe, how important now with Brian Jordan hustling, it helps Langford now because the first baseman's holding him tight. So they got the hitting lane open on the first base side.
And the inning opened with hustle as DeShields beat out what was surely going to be a 3-1 putout. 1 on, 1 out. 2-0 on Langford, and Flory is about finished. Unless he can bear down and get Langford and McGee. You'd have to think, Al, any more trouble, they'll pull the trigger and go to Bachler.
I would think.
Will Jordan do any running on 2-0? Brian has stolen 5. Not going. Not close. 3-0. Langford is homered. Walked. McGee is next. Will he swing on 3-0? Langford hasn't been tempted with the first 3 pitches. Obviously, winning breeds a better attitude, but you certainly see guys doing a little more, making a little more effort over the past week.
You know, Joe, I think the players would probably disagree with you, but it is very apparent to people that watch.
That's driven deep to right, but pulled foul. Nice to see Langford cut loose on 3-0, but he cut loose too quickly.
That's what you want to say. Okay, be disciplined. If something's in your wheelhouse, you go ahead and pull the trigger. Now, if a guy hits the ball that hard, that far, you say, okay, he had the right decision to make that, to pull that trigger. But your point being that guys are doing little things. They may think they're always doing them, but it is so apparent.
That's the walk, and that'll put 2 on for McGee, and you wonder if he will face Flory. The answer is no. 2 hits, a walk in the inning, and with Willie coming up, Flory is going out. Bachler will enter the game for the Tigers. Flory finished in the 5th. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. If you depend on your car, depend on Dobbs. And by Steak and Shake. Extra innings. We're open 24 hours. Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. Here's Bachler, former San Diego Padre. He has got one of the more unconventional deliveries you will find. He dips way back, Al, and then he comes straight over the top.
Now you see the numbers. He has not surrendered an earned run in his last 14 appearances, 18 1/3 since April 21st, a new single season career high. How about how he's held left-handed batters to a 149 batting average. So a little bit different than what we saw from Flory. This guy can eat up left-handers.
2 on, 1 out here for McGee. Willie's 0 for 2. Dancing around back at second. Jordan able to get back as he tried to bother Bachler. Boy, Brian got way off the bag and then went straight back, and it was a good thing.
Well, I think Brian looked and saw how far the third baseman was playing off the line. Alvarez would never recover if Brian took off and tried to steal third.
McGee taking to get a look at Bachler. Strike 1.
Batters, first time you see Bachler with all the motion, he's got to be a little deceptive to pick up his release point.
2 on, 1 out, 0-1 on McGee. Flory goes 4 1/3 innings. He's allowed 3 runs, 5 hits. He's responsible for the 2 on. Walked 4, struck out 2, and allowed a home run. Wasn't that bad when he got the ball over the plate, but walks killed him. Bachler on 1-1. Strike 2. Cardinals lead 3-0. It might not take much more to feel comfortable with the way Todd Stottlemyre is pitching. It's going to be a big inning in the 6th with Easley, Higginson, and Clark, the scheduled hitters.
Bachler was acquired late in March from Oakland. Another former San Diego pitcher.
McGee chased it 2 out. It's going to be up to Pagnazzi. McGee's 0 for 3, and Pagnazzi, who is 0 for 2, walks in.
Well, we've seen Willie at times. You can go up the ladder with him, and he'll try and get on top of it, but he was only on step 1.
He needed a couple more rungs up the ladder.
Yep.
And now Pagnazzi with 2 on, 2 out. This would be a key hit if the Cardinals could come up with it, leading 3-0. Bako through the signs. And Pagnazzi, who knocked in a run here yesterday, also doubled. Laid down a good sacrifice bunt. Takes a strike. Runners at first and second. Great speed aboard for the Cardinals here in the 5th inning. Strike 2. Bachler's the guy who's the hairstylist and the magician, right?
I think so. You can tell by his own hair. He keeps it real tight.
Every team usually has a guy who gives haircuts. And I think Bachler's a guy, and he's also a magician. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
This is the guy.
Like to make Pagnazzi disappear. 0-2 pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Doug Henning, you know, was a wonderful pitcher in high school.
Yes. You know, he just... Bachler and Henning are very similar.
It's all sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Is it here? No, it's here.
And you could tell by his release point, you know, that he is trying to disguise his release point.
2 on, 2 out, a ball and a couple of strikes on Pagnazzi. Okay, he's getting some pretty good swings. Still 1-2.
54 ball games last year
hey,
for.
Watch out for the hidden ball trick here, Al.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm watching.
Go ahead. You do the game, and I'll think of funny, clever things to say.
I'm watching the hidden ball trick.
Pull a rabbit out of his glove. He was featured on This Week in Baseball, Al. Did you know that?
No.
With some of his magic tricks. Nothing like a good magic trick. 2 on, 2 out, a ball and 2 strikes on Pagnazzi. And that'll get out of play.
Pags has been swinging the bat pretty well. Came in tonight in the 243 range. Been hitting some doubles of late.
Double here might put the game away. Fox Sports
News, Arnett, and Tom.
A ball and 2 strikes from Bachler. 2-2 now with Mabry on deck. Pagnazzi battling here. Bachler struck out McGee on a high fastball. It's been much better of late. Pagnazzi has the last nearly 3 weeks. Now 3-2, and these runners, who are a couple of the quickest the Cardinals have, will get a head start.
The one's on base.
Yes. Yes.
I know, but
I know what you're saying.
There they are.
Jordan out at second, Langford at first. They'll go. Three balls, 2 strikes on Pagnazzi. And we'll do it again. Rene Latchman. Trying, but coming up empty on the barehanded pickup. That hurt. Now he's asking himself why he bothered doing that.
Why did I do that?
Why do this?
One, because you think you're going to catch it, but I got fingers, not the palm.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out. Runners go, and that will head toward the Cardinal dugout. Tony Clark is there, and Pagnazzi slams his bat down in frustration. Clark comes up with it. Good work by Bachler. He continues his fine pitching, and after 5 innings, Cardinals lead by 3.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Hey, right here behind the bleachers tomorrow night, it's also Children's Hospital Autograph Night. A bunch of Cardinals will be out here, also some former Cardinals. Get here about 5:45. You'll be able to get an autograph. Fans 20 and under, be here tomorrow night, Children's Hospital Autograph Night. Let's go back up to the booth with Joe and Al.
Thank you, Bob Ramsey. We go to the 6th inning. Big frame here for Stottlemyre. He had a long layoff over on the bench. Teammates got him another run. It's 3-0 and easily takes a ball. Damian will be followed by Higginson and Clark. This is their best 3 that they can throw at you. The 1-0. 2-0. Easily hitting .285, 17 home runs. Looked like a let-up from Stottlemyre. It's 2-1.
You know, sometimes you actually throw what you almost call a BP fastball, because the hitter's not expecting it. But don't do it too often.
There's a good slider from Stottlemyre. 2-2. That is the slider, right?
Yes.
I mean, what do you think the percentage is of play-by-play guys calling pitches from the booth? About 54%, if that?
I was thinking 53.8.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
2-2 pitch. See ya. One away, and Stottlemyre rings up number 6.
You know, Joe, it's like I had so many people tell me about my slider. I don't have a slider.
You still don't have a slider?
No, it was just a cut fastball, but his ball just took off.
So it's a shot at my dad, is what you're saying.
No.
Just kidding.
Other people around.
Higginson, 1 out, nobody on.
Dad knew I had nothing.
Strike 1. Hey, our wonderful director, one of the game's best, Tom Mee, wants to congratulate Frank Polazzolo on the birth of his grandson Andrew.
Oh, great.
So the Cardinals winning here tonight, 3-0 on a big night for Frank and the rest of the Polazzolos.
Polazzolos. Say that 10 times.
They're from St. Peters, Missouri. 0-1 to count on Higginson, hitting .325. Tony Clark on deck. He went. That's strike 2. Rung up by the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis. Bobby is not happy. Come on, what are you doing? I didn't swing. 0-2. Well, if we started the game worrying about the health and well-being of Stottlemyre, those concerns are out the window.
Well, it's funny, though, but it almost appeared that from the 2nd inning on, he was okay. So maybe something might have loosened up, or...
From 0-2 to 2-2, Stottlemyre wants to get him on this pitch, and Higginson wants a little time. Clayton had him played perfectly. 2 up, 2 down. Tell you what, Clayton is bouncing around so well out there at short right now. It's like a different guy. Coming up after the game, it's Fox Sports News Primetime. All the scores, all the stories, all the action from your primetime team, 7 days a week. We are there. Fox Sports News Primetime tonight at 10. You think we got this game covered? Look at that.
Cover each other.
Everybody shift to the right, shift to the left. Back the other way now. Thank you. Tony Clark, strike 1. Boy, these guys will have nothing more than to get on camera. See me, honey? I was on in the 6th. We get spoiled with our crew here at Busch Stadium. The 0-1 pitch. That's into right field and a base hit. Jordan couldn't have been playing any deeper.
Yeah, I looked up and was surprised and shocked at how deep Brian was. Stottlemyre, after serving up the base hit. Now he's just a real gamer. He's mad at himself and he'll shake it off. You know, earlier in his career, he'd let that linger, sort of self-destruct. Now I can use it to motivate him to get the next hit.
Luis Gonzalez takes a ball. Gonzalez with a big at bat for the Tigers against the Cardinals in the 4th inning after a hit batsman and an error. He stepped to the plate in a 2-run game and bounced into a double play. Here he has a base hit to right, and 2 are on with 2 out. And all of a sudden, here's this kid Gabe Alvarez again with a chance to tie the game with 1 swing.
Todd got another something off speed, left it up and out over the plate, and he didn't miss it. Followed it and hit it hard.
2 on, 2 out. And Alvarez, who popped up his last time, but he's had some nasty swings at the plate. He singled his first time up on a 3-2 pitch right back up the middle. A hit here could mean a run. An extra base hit could mean 2, and you know the rest. The pitch. Not getting the inside corner. It's 2-0, and trouble's brewing here in the 6th inning with 2 out.
Alvarez facing Stottlemyre here, and they trying to figure out exactly what to do to him.
Pagnazzi just had a couple of words with Jerry Davis after that pitch.
Yeah, I think Pags is very good at working with the umpire to help his pitcher.
3-0.
Has that ability to communicate. He'll be looking forward, but he'll get his 2 cents in with an umpire, and so it's just a little conversation between Pags, the umpire, and no showmanship.
2 on, 2 out. Swinging on 3-0, and he pops it up. Jordan coming on. Inning over. Boy, is that a big lift for the Cardinals. 3-0, and the rookie was swinging, and the rookie pops up to shallow right. Bottom of the 6th inning, bottom of the order. Coming up, 3-0 Cardinals. Here's our Auto Tire What's on Tap. We're working 2 nights in a row. Our next game on Fox Sports Midwest. Cardinals tonight begins at 6:30, but the game is, well, we'll call it 7 o'clock. Tigers at the Cardinals tomorrow night. Finale of this homestand. The Cardinals have taken 3 in 3 chances. Lead here 3-0. And John Mabry will lead off for the Cardinals with Stottlemyre and Clayton to follow. It's a warm night, but the folks are hanging in there down there, having a fun time and a well-pitched game. Mabry is 1 for 2 and ought to get a lot of playing time between third base and the outfield over the next couple of weeks with the injury to Gant. It's pretty much been what we had talked about, Al, with John Mabry coming into the season. In spring training, it looked like all of a sudden the third base experience was dead because he hardly played there. He's played there quite a bit during the regular season, and he has looked good.
And he's just going to get better. You know, the more he plays over there. Real key was, and we saw him from a good outfielder make a nice smooth transition to first base. But then you ask, can he go to third? And he could because of his accuracy of his throwing arm.
Little floater into center for Brian Hunter, and he didn't play that well at all. Mabry's going to try and will make it to second. Hunter kicks it again, and it's a runner at second, nobody out. Hunter timed it in center a little bit, and he did not make a catch that he should have. So a runner at second, nobody out. Fox Sports Midwest is going deep, taking you past the headlines and inside the biggest stories for an insight you just can't find anywhere else. Join me Sunday at 9 p.m. on Fox Sports Midwest. Al, Brian Hunter should have caught that ball.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Trying to time it, trying to look real nice and pretty, and it was sinking on him a little bit. Got underneath him, trying to show that he caught it. He's really a magician if he would have pulled that one off. That one.
There's the end of his trick. And Stottlemyre up there to try to get Mabry to third somehow. Trying to bunt it at the third baseman. Strike 1.
Joe, this game's hard enough when you play it with maximum effort. And when you try and time balls and try and do little things, you're only going to make yourself look foolish.
It's a double for Mabry. Cardinals get their 6th hit of the night. You got to get him home. Big at bat here for Stottlemyre. Nobody works harder at hitting than Todd Stottlemyre. And that's a perfect bunt. That is a perfect bunt. The sacrifice good 5-4, and Stottlemyre couldn't have rolled it out there any better.
Well, it's a real effective ball because you got to bunt this one hard enough so that it gets past the pitcher. The third baseman has to come in, just totally giving clear access to the runner at second base. Got to know the situation. See, the third baseman's in, but if it's bunted short enough, then the pitcher can come in there, field it, the third baseman goes back, and they get the lead runner. Bunt it hard enough, make that third baseman field it.
Sacrifice 5-4, and now Clayton with the infield drawn in. RBI number 25 would be large here. Runner at third, 1 away. A strike from Bako. Bako relieved last inning. Struck out McGee, got Pagnazzi on a foul after Pagnazzi battled him. A bloop double to start the inning. The bunt by Stottlemyre, and there's the situation with the infield in.
Remember, he's got an 18 1/3 scoreless streak also.
That's foul and strike 2, and now Clayton in danger of doing what he doesn't want to do, and that's strike out.
I haven't seen Royce take a pitcher's pitch and kind of have that awkward swing for a while. He's got to come to you.
Runner at third, 1 out. Won't chase that. 1-2. Clayton tonight's been hit by a pitch, reached on a force out, stole a base, and scored a run. And he's grounded out. Just get it in play, and if you hit it at somebody, so be it. A ball and 2 strikes. Runner at third, 1 out. That's out of play. Big guys due up later, but right now it's the table setters trying to knock in a run. Mabry a leadoff double. He's at third with 1 out. And we'll do it again. Well, it's a big run, and Tony La Russa and the Cardinals know it. Up by 3-0. Take advantage of effort by Brian Hunter in center on a ball hit by Mabry, ruled a double, but a ball that should have been caught. Play him around to the right side in the outfield, infield in for Clayton. Struck him out of the inside corner, 2 gone. And it's going to take a hit from DeShields.
Take a look at Tony La Russa. He's watching from the dugout on the 3rd strike call. You don't see here's a good reaction there. Yeah. I don't think we can argue with that one, can you? See so many pitches out of the way, you get conscious of that ball away. Buddy Bell looks like he's going to make a pitching change, going to bring in the left-hander, Sean Runyon.
Runyon will enter. Bachler leaves as the Tigers try to get around a leadoff double. Runner at third, 2 out. Cardinals up by 3 in the 6th.
Well, Bachler, after some fine pitching, is through. He pitched 1 in the 3rd innings. He had a pair of strikeouts. He is responsible for Mabry at third base. 2 outs here. They're bringing in Runyon, and Joe You talk about a guy being a short reliever. 40 appearances. This is 41st, but he's only pitched in 24 in the third innings. He was a Rule 5 draftee from, of course, you know, San Diego.
Sure.
He turned 24 years of age yesterday.
And the Tigers can afford to do that with
Sure.
the Rule 5 players. Guys that you can pick out of other organizations, but you have to keep them at your big league level for the season or offer them back. Interleague play, and just like any other night here at the ballpark, a packed house and a good game. 3-0. The Cardinals lead, but they've only out-hit Detroit 6-5. And one more run is 90 feet away for the Cardinals with 2 out. Delino. Ball 1 from the left-hander. They had a guy like this last year in Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Who has since moved on, but Buddy Bell evidently likes these left-handers that go one batter at a time.
Well, and Joe, you can get away with it trying to give the learning experience where you have to keep the guy at the major league level. You know, being a real short relief, you aren't overexposing him. He's a kid from our neck of the woods, born in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and makes his home in Iowa.
And he's 3-0 on DeShields. Well, if he's from the broadcast area, you would have to think this is a thrill for him to pitch in Busch Stadium. And with McGuire on deck, the left-hander at the plate, he's 3-0. Runner at third, 2 out.
Went to high school in, let's see, what was it, Urbandale, Iowa.
To the right side and through. A 2-out RBI hit. Mabry scores, and it's 4-0. And a big RBI put on the board from Delino DeShields.
Almost a manufactured run or a gift. Mabry reaches on a ball that, you know, you said maybe a little better effort. And even this one, with that runner at third base, already trailing 3-0, you got to knock it down. Not a great effort by Tony Clark.
Now a runner at first, 2 out for McGuire, who takes a strike. Well, if it was a thrill to pitch in Busch Stadium for Runyon, you get double your pleasure with McGuire, who tonight is 1 out of 3. Strike 2.
Joe, we've never seen, I have never seen McGuire hit off a left-hander in batting practice. Have you?
Might be worth an effort.
Well, I mean, you know, you just don't see him. Cardinals don't get a lot of times as starters. You don't see a lot of batting practice.
Over the outside corner. As a matter of fact, McGuire strikes out for the second time tonight. McGuire takes batting practice from no one other than Dave McKay. We've played 6. A big run knocked in by Delino. Cardinals up 4-0. Top of the 7th inning. Cardinals lead now 4-0. And the catcher will lead it off. I just heard John Hewlett pronounce his name as Bako. So if we've been calling him Bako all night, is it wrong? Is it wrong to call a man Bako when his name is Bako?
Hey, some rock jock knows better than you.
Yeah, probably. A ball low to Paul. Or is it Paul? I'm sticking with Bako. I was a big fan of those in the early 70s.
Bakos?
Oh, yeah. 2-0 from Stottlemyre.
I don't know what it is.
There's John Hewlett.
There's a jock rock.
The U-man who keeps sunflower seeds in business.
Yeah, he spent 20 minutes combing his hair and then forgot to bring it.
The comedic stylings of Royce Elliott to my right.
It's getting thinner and thinner on top there.
See, I can't say a word.
Look at he's kissing to all his fans.
Hi, John. 2 balls and a strike on the catcher, Paul. Bako. Driven into deep right field. Jordan back at the wall to watch it leave, and it's a 4-1 game. Cardinals got to run, give it right back, and it's now a 3-run Cardinal lead.
Second home run of the year. And if you've noticed the last couple innings, Stoudemire having trouble with the left-handers.
Shortstop, Davey Cruz.
You know, Joe, if he's starting to tire a little bit, a lot of things look like they've been off-speed pitches, change-ups, leaving them up a little bit, telegraphing them somehow.
Davey Cruz now with nobody on or out, pops it foul.
Met the right kind of in his wheelhouse, right where he could make the adjustment, pull the trigger on the inner half.
Cruz comes up empty, strike 2. Tony Angelis with the camera work on the home run hit by Bako. It was up and out. Majestic blast from the Detroit catcher. Mabry at third, as that ball wasn't hit hard at all. John made the catch. One away, and the batter will be a pinch hitter here in the 7th inning. Here is our Hoover pickup of the game. Robbing Gonzalez to his left. Clayton took a hit away back in the 2nd. Second out of the inning and the 5th of the night. Here's Kimera Barti off the bench to bat for Runyon. Runyon gave up the inherited run, which is on the resume now of Bachler. This guy can absolutely fly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Center fielder by trade. Strike 2. Stoudemire on 1 and 2 to Barti. Nasty pitch down and in, and that's strikeout number 7 for Stoudemire. And on the year, number 112 for the Cardinal right-hander. That's a wonderful statistic, and I'm glad it was brought up by the truck. How about the ERA 7 through 9?
Yeah, that's and you know, with some guys that only get 7 through 9 once or twice in a season is a little bit misleading, but he is always working deep in a ball game where it's meaningful.
Hunter now takes a ball. 2 out, nobody on, 1 run in on the leadoff home run. Hit by Bako, and that's a strike, 1 and 1. Todd Stoudemire has thrown 2 complete games, but well, I can't think of a start this year, and this one qualifies now where he hasn't gotten into the 7th or 8th inning.
Well, he's averaging 7 1/3 coming in.
Clayton's going to have to hurry. Charged it, did himself a favor. Inning over. Hunter is 0 for 4, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. Nice time to stretch. Cardinals bat. Jordan will start it, up by 3. The Cardinals enjoying a 3-run lead over the Detroit Tigers. And Fox Sports Midwest pleased to congratulate 10-year-old Lauren Froder of Florissant, Missouri. Tonight's Cardinals superfan. She's sitting in the left field bleachers looking for a McGuire long ball. Many experts have picked the Cardinals to win the division. Were they right? Find out daily with the complete standings of the Post-Dispatch. The Post-Dispatch covering more than just the score. There's Bernie Miklaz on your left and Rick Hummel on your right as those two survey the scene and what offerings they will give us tomorrow morning. One can only guess. Lou Brock is in attendance with wife Jackie. And we're back up here.
They're always waving. Can't see you now. You know, that sign our little super fan had reminds me to say hi to Mom from Ashley, Katie, and John at Park Hill, Missouri. They have a sign. They're up in Terrace 385. I wonder why they weren't there.
Dean
super
Crow.
Fan.
Dean Crow.
Little
Say it again.
Dean Crow Jr.
Through the left side, and Dean Crow is greeted by a base hit from Brian Jordan, who's 2 out of 4 with 2 RBIs.
Well, that .350 average that he started the day, #1 in the National League, will continue to grow. The breaking ball, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, that's why I'm sitting here. A hard-throwing reliever was ranked by Baseball America as having the best fastball of any prospect in the Mariners system prior to coming to the Tigers July 18th trade. He's rated as the Mariners' 3rd best prospect overall. There's the fastball we just talked about. And he has a link to St. Louis. He was acquired along with Scott Sanders for Carlos Villalobos in exchange for Felipe Lara and Omar Olivares. Omar's really pitching well for the Angels.
Pitching the heck out of the ball.
I talked to your best friend Joe Coleman the other day, and he said, remember we tried to get him to do a couple things right before he got fired? Well, went to spring training, and Joe is the bullpen coach out there when Marcel Latchman, the pitching coach of the Angels, he said, I talked to Marcel, we got him doing these things back on top, and he is just throwing lights out.
Omar always had a world of ability, a great athlete. Pitching every 5th day for the first place Angels. A 1-0 to Langford, 2-0. Ray is homered and walked twice.
You know, and speaking of the Angels, first place, they got 4 former Cardinal pitchers. Kenny Hill, Alan Watson, both of them on the disabled list. And then Omar and Rich DeLucia.
Jordan is running. Throw by Bako is not in time, and Jordan gets the stolen base, number 6 on the year. It was close. This catcher has a good arm.
Good arm, and of course Brian Jordan saying, I'm using this as a little advertisement. I'm showing the American League in Detroit that I can play baseball. Very close play right there. Bounces and hand just underneath the tag. But Joe, don't you just get a sense and a feeling that the Cardinals are one step quicker than the Tigers?
I do, but I think that,
and they should be.
A week ago,
right,
they were not one step quicker.
Yeah, a week ago they could have been beaten by anybody. But all of a sudden they went into Houston after some tough losses. Tough Wednesday night against the White Sox, a tough Saturday night against the Diamondbacks. Tough game in Houston, but they have really responded and showed great character.
Jordan at second with nobody out. 2-2 the count on Langford. Just missed. Just missed. And they count 3-2. Three-two pitch. Langford able to lay off, and the first 2 are on here in the 7th inning. A hit and a walk.
Langford's had a perfect night. Home run and 3 walks.
Here's McGee. Willie is 0 for 3. McGee looking for his first hit of the night. Cardinals lead 4-1 in the 7th inning. Great speed on. 2 on, nobody out. McGee looks down at Rene Latchman. There's half a chance you could bunt, but I'm not so sure. Pagnazzi will follow. 1 ball, 1 strike. I wouldn't expect the Cardinals to bunt here with McGee.
No.
Not with the bottom of the order to follow.
No.
but you never know. Looks like Detroit is half expecting it. The infield's all shortened up, which gives McGee a better chance to ride one through the infield.
Not Alvarez at third base. He's not sure where to play.
He is way off the line. Double play ball. Davy Cruz to second, on to first. What a nicely turned double play. 6-4-3.
The ball had to be scorched to get Willie, and with Brian Jordan right in front of the young shortstop, he gets blinded for a second. I kind of got him, but the ball was hit so hard he kind of went to his knees, did get it to easily, and then on over, no question.
Rough night for McGee, 0 for 4. And it takes a 2-out hit from Pagnazzi to get that 4-run lead back. Jordan at third, 2 out. That won't do anything. On the infield for the shortstop Cruz, and the inning comes to a close. Well, that looked like one of those innings where you could put the Tigers away. It didn't happen. 8th inning, 4-1 St. Louis. Here's our U.S. Postal Service's out-of-town scoreboard. Minnesota leads. They led 4-0. They lead 4-3 in the 9th inning. Cleveland leads at Chicago 2-1 in the 8th. White Sox beat the Pirates 5-4. Turn. Toronto beat Montreal 14-2. Florida and Tampa Bay tied in the 11th. Philly leading and now winning in 10 innings at Boston. 3-0 Kansas City wins at Cincinnati. Baltimore out in front big at home over the Mets. Braves lead in the 7th inning at the Yankees. And strike one on Damian Easley. Come back, Damian. Come back. Come back. And our other 3 scores. Arizona leads at Texas 2-0 in the 7th. San Diego and Seattle just underway. San Francisco at Oakland just underway. We'd like to welcome those of you who are watching Kansas City take care of Cincinnati. We are in Busch Stadium. Joe Buck and Al there you go. Joe Buck and Al Roboski with you. Here's a pop-up into shallow left. Clayton goes out. McGee comes in. Willie's not helping Royce out very much. 1 away. And Willie was more than willing to stay away, and Clayton was about 100 feet from the infield when he made that catch.
Wow, Willie knows this high energy, and you see him laughing out there. I'm sure Langford's kidding him. He says, high energy Clayton. He knew he could get underneath it and have plenty of time to just relax, read some fan mail. But you don't often see Willer just concede that difficult play to a shortstop.
Really wasn't well played.
No, I mean,
McGee's got to catch that ball.
But we can never criticize Willie.
1 out, nobody on. Higginson. 1 ball, 1 strike. Since we're on now in Kansas City, which is part of the Fox Sports Net, is there anybody left in Kansas City that you have anything to say to? Did you leave any books open? Did you leave anything left undone that you want to say to the folks back in Kansas City where you pitched for many years? This is your chance. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. Al is completely speechless.
Oh no, I'm just thinking, which one do I start?
1 out, nobody on. 2 balls and a strike from Stottlemyre. Todd Stottlemyre is shooting for his 3rd complete game. In case you forgot what he looks like, here I am, Al Roboski.
It's grayer.
This is him. A little grayer. Still with facial hair. Not as frightening. The act is completely worn off. The 2-2 pitch. Rip foul. Would you call what you did on the mound an act? Was that?
Absolutely not.
It was what? It was a means by which you pumped yourself up for the next pitch.
It was a controlled hate mood. Okay. And I did think about what is number 1, first and foremost on my priority list. Get well quiz.
Absolutely.
Get well quiz.
1 out, nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're going to talk about that in a second. Higginson. Oh, just missed outside. Stottlemyre wanted it, didn't get it. 3-2. Let's wait till after this hitter to talk about that for a moment. Higginson with 1 out, nobody on. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Right at Clayton to his right, gets it on a hop. settles and throws 2 out. You mentioned Dan Quisenberry. He is battling. He battled a brain tumor. He is trying to make the road to recovery. They had a wonderful night for him at the ballpark the other night, where a lot of his ex-teammates and fans came out to applaud him. We had a chance to see him here in St. Louis for a little while.
Sure.
What a wonderful, what a brilliant man. Great wit. And the moment where he hugged his family, if you watched that and didn't get emotional and choked up, you're not human.
Yeah, we were in San Diego, I think, and watching that ceremony. And no, he's a neat family man and a great guy. And you said great wit. Well, I think a lot of that wit went right over the heads of his teammates.
Sometimes the humor was lost on some of the guys that he was firing it toward. Strike 2. He had a great sense of humor, and what did he say? One time, one of his greatest lines was, "I found a delivery in my flaw."
Right.
Instead of a flaw in his delivery, he found a delivery in his flaw. He had that submarine-style right-handed pitching.
And after the surgery, John Wathen told me, he said he went to visit him, and he said, "Hey, Duke, I'm trying to figure out." He's feeling his head and feeling the scars and the incisions, I guess the stitches on the scar. And he said, "I'm trying to figure, should I throw it with the seam or against the seam?" And
a ball and 2 strikes. Clark lays off 2-2. Did you pitch with him?
Yes, he came up. Another reason, like Whitey said, I helped him win a Division I year, and I got Whitey fired the next year. But Quiz came up in '79, and boy, you could, unorthodox delivery, but just unbelievable movement, and he could control that movement from down under.
That's down the left field line. McGee going over to get it. He saved his energy on the first down. He's there for the final of the top of the 8th inning. I'm glad I kiddingly brought that up. I'm very glad you brought up the name of Dan Quisenberry. We're thinking about you. Bottom of the 8th inning, Cardinals bat up by 3.
Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by Budweiser, Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Southwestern Bell, go wireless with someone you know. And by Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Fly Southwest. There's someone flying around the bases, Lou Brock, back in 1968. There we go. There's Fox Sports Midwest coming up next. Mabry pops this ball up in the infield, and Cruz makes the catch. Cardinals lead 4-1. 1 out here, and Paul Dean Crow Jr.
Yes.
That's his official name. He goes by Dean Crow, but he makes his home in Houston.
You can do well here in St. Louis.
Paul Dean.
You go by Paul Dean. 1 out, nobody on. Stottlemyre still swinging hard. One out, nobody on. Cardinals and the Detroit Tigers. First game of a quick 2-game set for the Cardinals continue down the interleague path through Cleveland and to Minnesota. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1968. This is, of course, a rematch of the wonderful World Series between these two clubs, eventually won by Detroit. That's Gibby striking out Kaline. Strike 2. Now Kaline is to our right, seated next to Ernie Harwell.
Ernie Harwell, boy. Another 6 retired. Stan and Kaline. I was talking to Kaline today, and he was talking about Bob Gibson and said he agrees the greatest competitor and a 1-game pitcher. But, the amazing thing about that Game 7 was Flood misplayed a ball in that game, but Mickey Lolich, who eventually was the MVP, he pitched in Game 5 and won, and then came back and pitched Game 7 on 2 days rest.
A ball and 2 strikes. Stottlemyre fouls one away. I was just in Cleveland the other day, and they were celebrating the 1948 championship team in Cleveland, their last World Series championship, by the way. They were retiring the number of Bob Lemon, number 21, one of the many great pitchers that pitched in Cleveland during that time period. And you want to talk about some good battles. A ball and 2 strikes. Stottlemyre stays alive. He is not up there to give this at bat to the Tigers and to Dean Crow. 40,172 packed in here on a warm summer night. We can say that now officially.
When we come home, we're going to play the Kansas City Royals. And they're playing good baseball right now.
Stottlemyre throws his bat after it. Stays alive, 1-2. Cardinals will play the Kansas City Royals the last day of June, the 30th, and then the first 2 days of July. Go to Cincinnati for 3, and then it's All-Star break time. And then don't close that up yet. Cardinals come home, take on Houston, Cincinnati, L.A. in a great homestand right after the break. Stottlemyre up there battling. Look at him. Is he unbelievable? 2 balls, 2 strikes. He wants to get on base as badly as anybody else in this lineup when most pitchers' thoughts would be on pitching the 9th inning. 3-2. Crowd loves it.
Well, Stottlemyre is so into a ball game. No one will ever question his intensity or his desire to compete.
Pretty well hit into left field. Gonzalez back to get it. Stottlemyre is gone, but what a battle here with 1 out, nobody on. Now 2 out, nobody on. And a standing ovation for Todd Stottlemyre as he comes back to the dugout. You think these fans don't know what's going on? They appreciate a good effort, and they are seeing one time and time again from Todd Stottlemyre. Give you a look at our Bud Game summary, brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you, this summary's for you. Stottlemyre, the story defensively. Jordan has driven home a couple, 2 out of 4, hitting .352. And the Cardinals a great record when scoring 3+ runs. And at the top is the line score. We're in the 8th inning, bottom half. Cardinals lead 4-1. Clayton with 2 out, nobody on. Clayton's already been hit by a pitch tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, everybody, Al, always talks about McGuire, and the game's out of hand. They'll stick around and watch the last at bat from McGuire because you know you're going to get something exciting. 2-1 on Clayton. You can pretty much mark down his starts, come to the ballpark, and know you'll see a great effort.
Oh, most definitely. And, you know, he's just a true professional. He just battles and battles and battles, and he should be in double figures in wins. Last time out, you know, was a prime example. He pitches his heart out, comes out of a ball game with what you believe is a secure lead, and then it was lost. He gets a no decision. But he should have at least 10 wins instead of the 7, looking for 8.
2 out, nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Clayton. High 3-2. I want to mention one thing you guys talked about in the pregame. Cardinals have signed Bobby Witt, formerly with the Texas Rangers. We've seen him here with the Marlins. And he will be at the ballpark tomorrow, and at some point will be in the Cardinal rotation. To the shortstop, Cruz on 2 hops. Cardinals go in order, and you can see why they like Davy Cruz. We go to the 9th inning. Gonzalez, Alvarez, and Bako coming up. Stottlemyre back to finish what he started. Our Discover Card payback playback. First run of the night. That swing and result from Langford. Home run number 10. A 1-0 Cardinal lead. They've never been headed, leading 4-1 into the 9th inning. Stottlemyre back to work. Gonzalez takes a ball. It'll be Gonzalez, Alvarez, and the catcher, Bako. Davy Cruz, the number 8 hitter, would follow. A high strike, and it's 1-1. Stottlemyre shooting for his 3rd complete game and shooting for a Cardinal 5-game winning streak. Breaking ball. He's still got it working. Strike 2. Boy, it's a hot night to go 9. And Stottlemyre couldn't care less.
He doesn't have his legs underneath him. He's just going on adrenaline right now. But his adrenaline is something special.
Good pitch. Wouldn't chase it. 2-2. There is action for the Cardinals in the bullpen if Stottlemyre begins to slip here in the 9th inning. Oh, just low. 3-2. Rick Croushore getting ready for the Cardinals out in that pen, but Stottlemyre doesn't want to see him till tomorrow night. Driven down the right field line, foul. So still 3-2. Home plate umpire Jerry Davis proved on that 2-2 pitch he's not going to give he's not caught up in the emotion here. He's not going to give Stottlemyre anything. Full count on the leadoff man here in the 9th inning. And that's through the right side for a leadoff hit. So the Tigers won't quit. Gonzalez is 2 out of 4, and the batter will be the rookie Gabe Alvarez. Well, Fox Sports News primetime is coming up after the game. The Dodgers clean house as they fire their manager and general manager. Wimbledon action, World Cup highlights. And I don't know if they'll play the highlights of the crowd booing Dave Duncan as he walks out to the mound, but they may. Dave Duncan walks out to talk to Stottlemyre, has yet to motion, and now he does. We're going to see Croushore as Stottlemyre on a warm night will give way to the Cardinal bullpen. Here comes an ovation. Well, the emotional fans and probably the emotional broadcasters wanted to see Todd Stottlemyre finish the game. He talks to Dave Duncan. These two know each other so well. And Stottlemyre throwing 126 pitches on a night like tonight. Leadoff hit. It's a time to bring in the bullpen. It may or may not work, but it makes all the sense in the world.
All right, Croushore has been pitching well of late. He's a young man making his 11th appearance. He's already picked up 2 saves, and that's just in his last couple outings. Strikeout better per inning. Just maturing right in front of our eyes. And he is another emotional guy that Todd really is drained, but yet I really believe, Joe, if you have a man on your staff that you do not feel comfortable bringing him in with a 3-run lead to get 3 outs, then he shouldn't be on your staff. And I know Tony has a lot of confidence in Rick Croushore.
Well, he's done nothing lately to challenge that confidence. There's always going to be a part of, I think, everybody in this stadium and all Cardinal fans wondering, well, and thinking, uh-oh, here we go to the bullpen. But the bullpen hasn't been that bad. The problem has been this spot right here.
Right.
The 9th inning and closing the door.
9 times this year with a lead, the 9th inning or later, the game has gotten away and become a loss. And about 15 times from about the 7th inning on. And in a good ball club, that only happens once or twice a year.
1 up and in to Gabe Alvarez, who got a good look at a Rick Croushore fastball that rode close to the hitter's chin.
First major league game, and didn't want it to end like this. The ball just taking off, and Magnazzi was lucky to snare it.
Cardinals lead 4-1, 1 on, nobody out. Gabe Alvarez takes a strike. I don't know if that first pitch was intentional, but it'll work.
Well, Joe, you know, if a ball and it purely got away from it, but if that does happen, maximize it.
Alvarez couldn't catch up at all. Strike 2.
The ball just took off, ran in on him, and that's what happens. That'll put a little fear in the hitter. A lot of hitters today run up to that batter's box because they're so comfortable.
Gonzalez, a leadoff hit at first with nobody out. 4-1. The Cardinals lead 9th inning. 2-2 on Alvarez. And if you don't know the story on Croushore, an above 90-mile-an-hour fastball. His last effort, 2 innings against the Diamondbacks for a save. He has a slider, but his other pitch is a screwball. That's into center. Should be the first out. Langford is there, and you like relievers that come in and pick up an out. 1 away. Todd Stottlemyre, Al, was pacing during that first at bat when he wasn't on the mound over on the dugout bench. Well, where is he now? He's finally taken a seat.
Well, it's still, when you have some control, when you're out on the mound, you feel like you have some control. When you're sitting there and it's your game on the line, you know, it's nerve-wracking.
Sweat more now than when you're out there. 1 on, 1 out. And Bako, who has already homered here tonight for the only Detroit run, waits with 1 on, 1 out. They do not hold against the runner, Gonzalez, at first.
That's the way you want to see a reliever come in there. A guy's on base, really bear down. His changeup is so effective against left-handers. That's the screwball. You know, it comes out in a screwball fashion, but I think it's truly a changeup. And it just is a devastating pitch against left-handed batters.
They'll let Gonzalez take second if he wants it. They play behind him with the left-handed batter up. That's into right field. Jordan coming on to make the catch. 2 down, and the Cardinals are 1 out away from victory here on Monday, June 22nd, shooting for their 5th in a row. And Trey Beeman just called up. Will pinch hit for Davy Cruz. That Bako gets pretty good swings.
Yeah, Todd's telling you he did.
Well, Trey Beeman is the man who will either get it to a situation where the tying run comes to the plate as Joe Randa comes into the on-deck circle, or Croushore could get him, have an uneventful 9th inning, and wrap this one up for his 3rd major league save. He started each of the 3 hitters off with ball 1, and it's been a fastball up.
Coming into tonight's action, and left-handed batters are batting 129.
Gonzalez stealing second. And as I say, stealing second, you always have to guess that they will call that fielders or catchers indifference. 2 balls, no strikes on Beeman. 2-1.
There, look at the numbers. And to me, Joe, how many times do you see a guy come in here and they immediately pinch hit? So if you're a right-hander, they pinch hit for that, you know, that average right-handed batter. They put a left-hander up there and it plays to your percentages.
Little heat for Trey Beeman, 2-2, and now the Cardinals are a strike away from victory.
Of course, there is also a theory. You've had a guy sitting there for 3 hours on the bench. He's can't have a quick bat, so you can blow the fastball by him, but there's no way, whether it's a mid-90s fastball or a devastating screwball, no way you're really looking for it when you've never seen the guy.
2-2 on Beeman. He hasn't seen that screwball yet, has he? Now he has. Game over. Cardinals win it 4-1. And the Cards have won 5 in a row. And Todd Stottlemyre gets a mini hug from Tony La Russa. That was a big win here tonight.
It's a huge win, the first game of this series, but he sets the tempo for everyone. Croushore does a nice job there. He picks up his 3rd save of his major league career, 3rd in a week.
It's not that easy, is it?
Sure it is, when you're getting the opportunity and you're getting the offense from your teammates and everyone's pulling on the same cylinders.
First smile of the night for Todd Stottlemyre. He has won game number 8. The Cardinals have won 5 in a row, and they are 2 games over 500. A record of 38-36. Stottlemyre beat Bryce Flory, and the Cardinals come up with a 4-1 win. That's our final score. Join us for our next Cardinals telecast tomorrow night. 7 o'clock is game time. Cardinals and Tigers will be on the air a half hour before that. You've been watching St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest, your regional home of the Fox Sports Net. Good night from St. Louis.